New consoles are launching, and that means new controllers. So we are unboxing and reviewing the brand new Xbox Shock Blue controller. That episode starts right now. It's a great day on the internet, everybody, and welcome to Assemble. I'm Matt. How are you guys doing? It is launch week. I'm very excited. It's gonna be great. We're gonna get our consoles. We're gonna get brand new consoles. We're gonna get our PS5. We're gonna get our Series S or X or whatever we want. We're going to the store. We got our mask on. We're ready to get that brand new console. We're getting the accessories. We're dumping just ungodly amounts of money into these boxes and plastic, and it's really fun. I love all the coverage. I love talking to all of you guys online. The support has been amazing and the excitement is in the air, and I can feel it and you guys can feel it too. By the way, quick note, thank all of you, every single one of you, because you have just helped the show achieve 400 subscribers. So guys, thank you very much for your consistent support on the show and allowing us to continue to grow. Now let's get into the real fun and the real heart of why we're here. Why are we here, Matt? Well, no one asked, but guess what we're doing? What are we doing? We're gonna unbox and review the Shock Blue controller. Let's get started now. Overall first impressions, guys, I gotta say, I absolutely love this new controller, and I love some of the updates and redesigns that we are getting with this. Now, for a guy like me, I may have a couple of controllers. I may have the black, I may have a turquoise, a teal blue controller. I may have had the white ones as well. I love getting new controllers, and what I like about Xbox is their ability to consistently allow users, fans, get new controllers and try out something new, and even with something as great as the design labs that Xbox has online to let you customize and build your own controller. What I really like about the Shock Blue, guys, is that blue finish and the matte blue finish on this thing. That's what really stands out. I love the overall design and finish of this whole thing. The matte finish is done throughout, from our triggers to the fronts to the back, and we are getting an amazing two-tone color here with a beautiful blue, and we're getting a very nice matte white finish on the back, and I think they actually complement very well. Our buttons that we have on our controller, they are coming in as well as with a blue finish on them. This would be my one criticism, is that I do kind of wish that the buttons were white, so the actual lettering was white. They would actually pop out a little bit more, because as you can see with our thumbsticks, we are getting them in the solid blue as well to match. And I think that this is a really good thing and a good way of doing this. They didn't go in another direction of giving you black thumbsticks. They kept the blue tone going all the way through. And then you have that D-pad, that updated D-pad, by the way. And here's what I really like and what I'm excited about it with this controller. D-pad that they're using is going to take cues from their Elite series, and I really like that they're bringing it down to regular consumers that can't afford getting into the Elite controller. And I was skeptical at first, guys, because I wasn't sure how that D-pad would feel as you're kind of rotating around, because it's all one piece now versus having like the defined cross all the way. What I really like, guys, is that just how it actually feels and rotates around. It's still got a little bit of texture. I feel like I can still get some pressure on there, but I also like that you don't have the gaps in between, because if you got them Cheeto fingers and you got that Doritos going on in your hands, it's not gonna get all built up in the crevices of the D-pad, because now it's gonna be one kind of flush, little concave, little bumped out unit. It's actually gonna turn out pretty solid and pretty awesome. Your inputs are going to be the same, obviously, where we have our jacks, we have our headphone jacks, we got our USB charge as well, and that is going to be all fantastic and standard across the board, and allowing users to actually be able to game on there using their own headsets and be able to plug in the audio jacks. Boom, perfect, awesome as always. The weight and size and feel of it, I feel that Xbox has kind of shrunk this a little bit. And I could be totally wrong. It might be exactly the same. I probably am wrong. But it feels a little bit different. And maybe it is because of the rubberized texture they've added to it, but it feels a little bit tighter in your hand. So as I'm holding this amazing bad boy, and you can see it here as we have all of our footage too, what I really like is, and like I said, I feel like it's a little bit tighter and it's a little bit more snug in the hands. What did you guys think? By the way, leave me some comments below. Subscribe to the show if you guys are new here, because we do all of our reviews. We do some unboxings for the tech stuff, for gaming, and we do our gaming coverage as well in the gaming hub. But let me know what you guys think. Do you feel like this is a little bit tighter and a little bit smaller. I feel it's a little bit more snug, but I could be wrong. I gotta do some side-by-sides and actually do some field tests. That's a weird motion to do, is that with a controller? We'll do some field tests out with this bad boy with the older ones. But I really like how they did it. Now I want to be able to get into that rubberized texture. So the rubberized grip on this is running behind your hands, obviously on the controller on the white, and they do a really great job of actually making you feel a little bit more snug. I like that they didn't go with a gloss finish. I like that it's not a slippery or a plastic feeling that you get on the PS4 controller, where I felt like after a while and after a long time of gaming, your hands and your palms get sweaty. I always felt like with the PlayStation side of things that it would slip a little bit. It was too rounded towards the bottom. And what I like about the Xbox controller here, the brand new one, is that we are actually getting it with a rubberized texture around the white throughout, and then it goes to the flush white finish on the back. So it's a really, really nice tone. The big thing that I do like, guys, is that you are actually getting rubberized grips on your triggers, just the tips, just the back tips. It's very nice. But this allows for a little bit more grip and hold and consistency when you are playing for a really long time. I like that they went with the matte finish with the rubberized texture on top. This is really good because with that texture and with that matte finish, you're reducing the amount of oil and grease that you're actually inevitably putting on that controller, and stepping away from that gloss, I think is really good. I like being able to showcase those controllers. For some of us out there, you've got 2, 3, 5, 10 controllers, you like collecting them. I like that they get away from the gloss finish and they've continued that blue line all the way across the top. So you actually are losing out on that little gap that they used to have at the top, which was going to be for the black gloss finish. Now they've removed that and you're just getting the front of the shell of the controller, which is a really nice touch. The Xbox logo itself, again, I really like this, that they went with the blue and the black in there. Makes for it to be able to look seamless across this controller. And the last piece without the functionality of this I'm going to talk about is going to be that new button that we have on there is actually going to be your share button. Now, I am somebody that wouldn't typically use a share button on my controllers. I don't upload a ton of photos. I don't like to grab gameplay clips and go through the process of trying to upload it and link it to my Twitter and do all the tweeting and the things that way. But what I do like is because we have a dedicated button here right on the middle and on the center. I think that this will actually be a game changer for people that want to be able to post any of their footage and gameplay coverage and make it easier than having to go through any of the steps within a menu to get it uploaded that way. This will actually make it a lot easier for people going through the console instead of going through all those menus. Boom, dedicated button, love it, great touch, doesn't take up any more real estate on the controller, and I think it's just done very well, and it's tasteful. Now, on the back, you are getting the options to actually be able to swap out those rechargeable batteries that you got, or if you're like me, you're probably going to end up going with the rechargeable block and that brick and be able to swap it out that way. That way I've only got to be able to charge it with USB, and I don't have to worry about swapping out batteries. But what I've always found with the Xbox controllers, guys, is that they do last quite a long time. I rarely had any problems when it came to my rechargeable batteries and swapping them out. I play a ton on here. I've actually gone from my PlayStation ecosystem and I've migrated more and more and more over to Xbox. And speaking specifically to the controller, what I really liked is that the battery and the longevity of them, it goes for quite a long time. Maybe I'm just not playing long enough, Matt, but that's okay, because what I liked is that they do last quite a long time. The other thing that I've always liked about the Xbox controllers throughout the course of their lineup is actually going to be just the weight of them. I've always liked having a heavier controller, and it's funny because when I first got into like a lot more heavy gaming on the PlayStation side specifically, I always liked having my DualShock controller. I had no problem, but I always found it light and flimsy. And then when I inevitably got into Xbox, what I always noticed was the weight of these controllers, and that can throw you off at first when you're first transitioning over, is how much heavier this feels. But with that heft, I find that it actually feels a lot more sturdy when I'm actually playing for a long period of time, and it doesn't feel as cheap, inexpensive, and flimsy as another controller out there. So I always appreciate that there's kind of a little bit more love and care into this, and having that little extra bulk and weight, for me, it actually grips quite well around my hands, and I feel like I've always got a solid grip on this, and now with the added texturized grip around it, I feel like I can play more comfortably for a longer period of time. So ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our review and our unboxing of the Shock Blue controller for the Xbox. Let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think? Do you like this controller? Are you happy with the black one that comes with your new console? Are you gonna get the white one? Or do you really like to get the Shock Blue? Let me know what you guys think. The controllers are not inexpensive. They are running you around $80 Canadian, so they are sizable investments, but for a lot of us, we want to be able to have multiple controllers for multiple play, but we also want to be able to swap out and be able to try something new. I'm really happy with this. I think Xbox did a really great job with it. But what do you guys think? Thank you so much for watching, and as always, thank you guys for assembling with us. See ya!